Hi there, in this tutorial we're going to make these pretty things, okay? We're going to step, repeat, make some symmetry, add some colors. They're pretty easy, they look really nice. Let's learn how to do them now in Adobe Illustrator. Alright, I'm starting with just a blank page, there's nothing special about it. And we're going to start with a shape. Now I'm going to use the star tool, it's hiding underneath the rectangle tool. You can use any shape, totally any shape, okay? And this gives you just different effects. Now I'm not even going to change the star tool, I'm just going to kind of use whatever the default is. So with the star tool selected, I need to, it kind of defaults to white, okay? So I'm just going to start with what you've got. And my first star needs to be quite big, okay? I've zoomed out a little bit and I want it to kind of cover the whole page because I'm going to crop it at the end, kind of tidy it up. So nice big star. And with the stroke, I'd like to change it to none. And with the fill, we need a gradient and we need a radial gradient. There's no radial gradient default, but there is a linear gradient. So we'll start with that one. Then we can click on gradient options. If you can't see gradient options, just go up to the window menu along the top there and you'll find gradient there. Okay, same. Now in here, I'd like to change linear to radial. And the way that I did mine, I started dark in the middle and light around the outside. It doesn't matter which way you use, okay? It's just, yeah, if you want to copy my version. So the inside, which is currently white, I'd like to be the darker of the colors. I'm using RGB. I'm going to go down here and pick kind of quite a dark green in the inside, and the outside, I'm going to pick something a bit lighter. Try and pick something the same kind of hue. It's been ages. Come on, Dan, pick a color. People are waiting. That will do. Not my favorite, but you get the idea. So I've got my colors. I'm going to close down my gradient panel. Now, there's two steps to this magic. Okay, first of all, with it selected with my black arrow, go up to Object, go to Transform, and there's this one here that says Transform Each. Okay, I'm going to click on this. Now, by default, mine's defaulting to what I last did. I'm going to put in all the zeros back. So yours is going to look like this probably. Okay, and what I'd like to do is make it a little bit smaller and rotate it all at the same go. I could do this separately, but it makes this trick not work. Okay, you'll see in the next step. So I would like to make it slightly smaller. It doesn't have to, you don't have to follow me. I just pick 90. Okay, in terms of the angle it rotates around, it doesn't really matter again. Just pick anything. Okay, and everyone will get different effects. You can copy me if you like. Now the trick here is to make sure you click on the copy button, because if I click OK, it's transformed this, made it smaller and rotated it. What I'd like to do at the same time is do that, but make a copy. Watch what happens when I click copy. The original one's still there, but there's another version that's slightly smaller and slightly more rotated. And that is, that's the getting started bit. Now we need to repeat that over and over again. We could go back to transform each, but there's a better option. If we go to Object, actually have this one selected, go to Object, there's Transform, and there's one called Transform Again. And what it's gonna do is gonna remember the last thing we did, whatever it was. Okay, in our case, it was smaller and rotated. So I'm gonna click it. Ta-da, did it again. Object, Transform, Transform Again. Okay, and you can keep doing that. Now you'll go insane if you have to keep going to the drop-down menu. You can see here on my Mac, it's Command D or Control D on a PC. Okay, so I'm going to go Command D and just keep smashing away at that button. It's cool, huh? I love it. Every time I do that, I teach this quite a bit, and you just, I don't know, every time I see it, something special about this repeating flowery pattern. Now, yours will look slightly different because you might use a different star. You might start with different colors. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like you to open up another document and start with a different shape. Okay, it could be a triangle, it could be some sort of liquefied thing or something you've drawn and spin around. I'd love to see it. Okay, so it's a class project. I'd like to see it in the comments. I'd like to see it in the project part. A couple of the things that I might do, actually, when you're doing it, say you start with a star. Okay, it might be that you do this to it. This is quite cool. White arrow. Okay, remember we've got all these points. I might drag one of these in. Okay, and you can start with kind of like a squidgy star before. It's technical, squidgy star. The one thing we might do is I might kind of stick it up here because I'm going to crop it. I'm going to grab the rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle that kind of snaps to the edges. Doesn't matter, it's got a gradient in it. I'm going to select it all. And remember over here, we're going to go to Make Clipping Mask. Just kind of tidies it up into some sort of abstract background now. All right, that is it for spinning things around and making abstract awesomeness. All right, let's get into the next video.